mic should be on. What's up? What's up? What's up? I should go put a shirt on too. So what I should go do. One moment. What's up? What's up? What's good? What's good? What's good? What up? What up? What it do? What it do? So you guys should be able to hear me okay. Juan. How's that volume? How's that volume? Let's see. Looks like that's okay. Moment. Looks like that is all right. Get started here. Just a moment. So you guys should be able to hear me. Yep. Volume sounds like it's okay. So I'm just gonna start and pretend like there's 100 people on here already and talk about modes and okay. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. I'm talk about modes. So when I went live the other day, for some reason, the connection kept crashing. So we got kind of cut off. And we're talking about, the other day we were talking about Phrygian mode. And also Lydian mode. Talking about how those two modes are sitting right next to each other. Here's Phrygian. Here's Lydian sitting right next door to it. Now today I want to talk about Mixolydian and Aeolian. So every live that I've done, I've talked about the key of C, but I'm going to throw some things at you as well, so that you can start seeing this stuff in other keys, but I'm just sticking in C right now. So as a review, if we're starting from the A string, 3rd fret of the A string, we're looking at a 3-string shape. There's our first mode, Ionian, okay, also known as the major scale. Second mode is going to start on the 2nd note of the scale. We're just starting from the 2nd note of the scale. If I play Ionian here, well, I could start Dorian here, but I'd have to shift that way to get to the octave, or I'd have to shift this way. Right? To save from, and that's valid, but to save from doing that for right now, I'm going to look at Dorian as a independent shape. So starting from the 1st finger, and this is a review of some videos a while back, right? I'm gonna put this down just a little bit more. Sorry guys. Like I was saying, it's a review of a couple of videos back. Right, that's the start of it. When I gave the first two modes, I was saying just practice going between both of those modes. Now, I'm going to purposely, for right now, stick to 3 strings, okay? So, I'm not including the E string right now. So, here's Dorian. The last live stream I did, I was talking about Phrygian. So, this is the second note of the major scale of C major. This is the third note, Phrygian. If that's the third note of the scale, the fourth note of the scale is right here. Then we get Lydian. Okay? We also said that the chords associated with Phrygian are, the chord associated with it, or the chords are minor and minor 7. Phrygian mode functions over the 3 minor 7. Third chord of the major scale is always going to be minor. We also talked about how the Phrygian has a root, minor 2nd, minor 3rd, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, minor 6th, minor 7th, and perfect octave. We talked about how the chord associated with Lydian, the 4th scale degree, is going to be major or major 7. Just review time here. Okay? We also talked about, or I also talked about, the DNA of the Lydian mode is a root, major 2nd, major 3rd, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, major 6th, major 7th, and a perfect octave. So now we're going to move on to, so when we went up and down, up one mode and down the other, when we're talking about Aeolian and Dorian, we needed to shift. Here for Phrygian and Lydian, we don't need to shift because they're right next door to each other. Alright? So now let's move up with the second finger and move to Mixolydian mode. Again, 3-string shape we're looking at right now. The DNA of the Mixolydian mode is root, major 2nd, major 3rd, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, major 6th, minor 7, and the octave. The chord associated with Mixolydian mode, or the 5, is going to be major. If we're talking about a 3-note chord, triad, or it's going to be dominant 7, where we have a root, major 3rd, perfect 5th, and a flat 7. Okay? So one thing you can do is play up the scale or the mode, because when I say scale or if I say mode, I'm talking about the exact same thing. It's just 2 names for one idea, right? Because the major scale is a mode itself. So up the scale play up the arpeggio. And down the scale. Up the arpeggio, down the scale. Up the arpeggio, down the scale. Or up the scale and down the arpeggio. You can do that for all of these modes. So, you know, I think that if you take the time to play them as individual shapes first and get to know the sounds of them, then you'll start seeing how they connect. And I'll show you that in just a second, how they start to connect. And you can see the connections, right? I talked a little bit about that when we were talking about Dorian. There's my major scale there. Now, look at how much easier it is to traverse the neck. When I see how these puzzle pieces connect. You see what I'm saying? As opposed to just, you know, fishing for stuff, right? You can, you know, you can make more, I like to call them informed decisions or educated guesses and stuff that you're going to play, right? So now that we've got Aeolian, we know Dorian, we know Phrygian, and Lydian. I just played up and down. So there's Lydian, and we also know Mixolydian. Then I'm going to put on a pad here, and if anybody watching, if the pad is too loud, let me know. So all of these, of course that's going to sound good because we're playing over a C major 7 chord. But if I play D or D Dorian, still sounds good because all of those notes are in the key of C major. Phrygian over that same thing, it's going to sound good because all of these notes are in the key of C major. I play all of the notes in Lydian. It's going to sound fine. Some of the notes will sound a little more unsettled, maybe a little tenser than others, but they'll all work because they're all in the parent key. So there's a Mixolydian. Okay, so now that we have 5 modes under our fingers and following that whole thing of going up one mode and down the other, now we'll do that. So we'll go up Aeolian, down Dorian, shift up Phrygian, no shift here, down Lydian, we're going to shift to Mixolydian. Hayes, what's good? Orange juice, what's good? And there I did do Locrian. But while we're talking about Mixolydian, let's go on and add in Aeolian. So Mixolydian is the 5th, Aeolian is the 6th. So here's my, look, I'm also starting to see my scale going this way, as opposed to seeing it just across the neck like this. I'm seeing it horizontally, not just vertically. So starting to see the scale that way, right? That's sort of the byproduct of learning these individual shapes, is you'll start to see how the neck just connects, right? The little shapes connect. So here's Mixolydian. We're 6. There's A, that's the 6 of C. So now I run into that same issue that I had with Dorian back here. And that I can't get to the octave unless I shift. See? If I keep my fingers there, I wind up on the 4, but on my 4th finger. But and that shift doesn't make any sense really to do just playing an individual shape. It's an ugly shift, but it's a shift. But watch this. If I start that Aeolian mode on my 1st finger, I get that shape. 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 1, 4, 3, 1, 3, 4, sorry, 3, 1. The ingredients or the DNA of Aeolian mode is root, major 2nd, minor 3rd, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, minor 6th, minor 7th, and the perfect octave. So now let's, and the 6 is the relative minor of the major scale. So if that confuses anybody, I don't think it will, but somebody who may watch the repeat, is every major scale has a relative minor scale. All right? And A happens to be the relative minor of C. So the chord associated with that, anytime you have a minor 3rd, you know it's going to be a minor chord. We've got a minor triad, a minor 7. We're gonna add Locrian in here as well. We're gonna add Locrian in as well because why not? But first, now that we've got that mode, so if you sat down and you practiced. Each mode, one at a time. So you have these shapes now. Right? Dorian. You start to remember these shapes and what they sound like and what they feel like on your fingers. My practice time, if I were playing against a pad, I wouldn't just do that. I would, take my time, see how each one of those notes sounds against the chord. Okay, so I'm just I don't want to keep going backwards too far, but now we're gonna go up one, down the other, until we get all the way to Aeolian. Okay, so repeat this. I'll put on the pad. This is a C major 7 pad. Okay, C major 7 pad. playing. But if I put an A in the bass, that all of a sudden becomes an A minor 7 because it got all the same notes. A minor 3rd, the perfect 5th. Well, the 3rd and the 5th of A minor 7 are also the root and the major 3rd of C major 7. But having that A on the bottom all of a sudden gives that it a different sound. Okay? If you guys have any questions, leave them in the chat and I'll get to them as soon as I can. So, let's go on and add in Locrian because we're here, right? We're here. Let's go on and add in Locrian. So, I wanted to talk about this shift. I went up Mixolydian, but I shifted to my first finger so that I can come down Aeolian. How else could I do that shift? I could go. I don't like shifting on my pinky finger that much. Look at this connection. Just in that exploration, so to speak, you discover that there's another way to finger the Mixolydian mode outside of just doing this. You can also do this. Right? You start seeing the connections. So give me a thumbs up if you're following, if you got that. That's all good. If not, let's go on to Locrian mode. So again, I'm going 3-string shape, going up the neck. Okay, we stopped at Aeolian. And now once we get to Locrian, we're really only seeing or thinking about the major scale. But so here's Locrian. Well, here's the major scale. There's your major scale, right? Well, if I start, there's the major 7. If I start from the major 7 and only play the notes that are in the scale, there's my Locrian mode. Associated with that is going to be a diminished or a half diminished. If we're talking about a 4-note chord, a 7th chord, we're talking about a minor 7 flat 5. What does a flat 5 mean? Well, here's the DNA of the Locrian mode. Root minor 2nd, minor 3rd, perfect 4th, flat 5. Minor 6th, minor 7th, octave. But there's our major scale. note shape. 3-note shape. And we're going to go up, up one, down the other. Okay? Down Dorian. Up Phrygian. Down Lydian. Up Mixolydian. Down Aeolian. Up Locrian. Down Ionian. Let's go backwards. Let's go backwards since we're already here. So we'll go down one and up the other and go back this way. So down Ionian. Up Locrian. Down Aeolian. Up Lydian. Mixolydian. Now I'm going to have to shift with this finger, my pinky finger, to go down Lydian. Up Phrygian. Ran into a problem there. What was the problem I ran into? I ran into a bad shift, so I'm going to stop, discover. And I'm saying this to kind of give you a hint as well to what you do in your practice time, to like stop and fix it, so. Let's just do it this way. So, just by the nature of doing that, we start to see Dorian in a different way. There's our major scale again. There's our major scale again. So down, Lydian, up, Phrygian, down, Dorian, up, Ionian, down, Locrian, and thus resolve on the C. So I'm going to do that whole thing again. Down, Ionian, up, Locrian, down, Aeolian, up, Mixolydian, down, Lydian, up, Phrygian, down, Dorian. Nah, that was horrible. Do it again. Up, down, Ionian, G.E. Brown, is a note in a mode called major or minor based on the parent key, i.e. Locrian is the second note of my first answer is no, but I'm just trying to understand how you're wording the question. Is a note in a mode called major or minor based on the parent key? No. So in this case, I'm calling the parent, well, I'm not calling it. The parent key is C. We've been in the key of C major, right? So whether the interval is major or minor will base it off the root of each mode, if that's what you mean. I think that's what you're trying to say, Mr. Brown. So here's what I mean. The key is C. So if we're just looking at C as Ionian mode, then the interval or the space between this note and this note is a major second. The space between this note and this note is a major third. The interval between this note and that note is a perfect fourth, perfect fifth, major sixth, major seventh, perfect octave. But let's say I go to Dorian. I'm still in the key of C. C is still the parent key. But now the mode I'm looking at is Dorian. So I'll look at this note as the root of that mode. Okay? So from the interval between this note and that note is a major second. The interval between this note and that note is a minor third. The interval between this note and that note. When I say intervals, for those who are not familiar, when I say intervals, I'm talking about the space in between two notes. So if this is a note and this is a note, the space in between them is the interval. Okay? So root, major second, root, minor third, root, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, right? G.E. Brown, let me know if that makes sense to you, if I helped there. What is this mode or scale called? Root, note, minor second. Root, minor second. Well, are you giving me a trick question? The first thing gives it away. If you have a root and a minor second and then a minor third, you're talking about Phrygian mode. Achilles matters. I know there's a bit of a delay between the time I see something on the chat, respond to it, and it gets to you. But you were talking about Phrygian mode. So let's take this out of the key of C. Well, before we do that, in this thing, so no, minor second and then a major third. A minor second and a major third. So there's the root. That is no mode that I'm aware of. Minor second and a major third. There's no mode with a minor second and a major third. So we've been going this way up the neck. But if we start this same shape, look at that. There's my right there. But it sounds like I ended in C major because I resolved on C. But I started on G. But let's take the root of C and go to the 8th fret of the E string. Okay, so now we're here. Now we've got all these modes a little bit closer together. Aeolian, Dorian, Phrygian, and we already know the 3-string stuff because we already worked on it, right? So we got up Ionian, down Dorian. Look at, now we have one way of, there's one way to produce Dorian. There's one way to produce Dorian, and we also know right, we're discovering these different ways of playing the same exact thing. So down Dorian, up Phrygian, down Lydian, up Mixolydian, down Aeolian, up Locrian, down Ionian, up Locrian, down Aeolian, up Mixolydian, down Lydian, up Phrygian, down Dorian, up Ionian. And then we resolve on the C. So I know for like these live streams and stuff, I'm you know, especially like today, I'm going a little bit quick. But that's the cool thing about YouTube and how this stuff can live on here, and you know, you can watch and rewatch and stuff like that, and it's free, right? So let's say I took this same idea, starting on a 4-string shape. Let's move that to G. Or let's move, somebody give me a key to move it to. Somebody give me a key. Somebody say a key. What key should we go to next? Write it in the chat. Write it in the chat. What key should we go to next? Don't be shy. I'm going to just pick one in a second. Somebody write, what key should we go to next? All right, y'all ain't saying nothing. I'm going to go to A. I'm going to take the same information. Okay, F. G.E. Brown says F. So peep this. In F, in order to avoid G.E. Brown, we'll go to B flat next. So for F, we're going to have to use an open shapes. Well, we don't have to, but we're going to use open shapes for now. Because we don't have a fret there, right? So we'll go. There's F. Where's Dorian? Now Phrygian, going to be a little different because I'm going to play an open string. Sorry. Here's Ionian, Dorian, there's Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, But since we did, remember all that work we did in C major when we were going up the neck, playing the major scale horizontally? The same thing is going to apply for other keys as well. Now there's F major. I did some shifting, or I could play this, which is a lot of stretching. But let's do our thing what we did before. We went up one and down the other. Let's go. But to avoid the open strings, I'm going to do some shifting. So I'll go up Ionian, down Dorian, up Phrygian, down Lydian, up Mixolydian. Now watch this. Ooh, check it out. Achilles, thanks for the super chat. You see that? There's D Aeolian. Sorry. Which is the relative minor of F. Oh shit, look at this. Right? So I'm starting to see all these little puzzle pieces happen. Aeonian. Ionian. Aeonian. Sorry. Ionian. Brain freeze. Down Dorian. Up Phrygian. Down Lydian. Up Mixolydian. Down Aeolian. Now watch this. I don't even have to go any further up the neck. Here's Locrian. Watch this. Sorry. See that? So let's do it again. Let's do it again. Up. Ionian. Down Dorian. Up Phrygian. Down Lydian. Up Mixolydian. Down Aeolian. Up Locrian. Down Ionian. Just by doing this kind of stuff, you know, I don't know about you guys, but the first major scale I ever learned was a box that looked like this. And to my young mind, if it didn't look like that, it wasn't a major scale. Well, it doesn't have to look like that. It has to sound like that, but it doesn't have to look like that, right? Because major scale can look like this. Sorry. Here's a 2-octave major scale. What does all this get you? It's not all about like all the crazy runs and licks and stuff like that. It could be something as simple as, when you start learning, if you don't know already, when you're walking bass lines, or if you are adding fills or something like that, if you're gonna go fishing, you got to know what lake you're fishing in, right? So anyway, somebody said B flat. Let's go B flat. B flat major. Look at this. Now look. This is not just, this is not just fly through this stuff. And this is like, this type of information is stuff that you practice and you look at forever, right? Problem with like adult players is we think we're entitled to have things really, really quickly, and we are not, right? And so if we don't get it in a week, we get frustrated and we let it go. Then that's not what we want to do. So B flat, up Ionian, down Dorian, up Phrygian, down Lydian, up Mixolydian, down Aeolian, up Locrian, down Ionian, up Locrian, down, sorry, I meant to go up, woo, down Ionian, up Locrian, down Lydian, up Mixolydian, down Lydian, up Phrygian, down Dorian, up Ionian, down Locrian, and then I just played the arpeggio, right? So this thing works also. So remember, you've got scale tones, chord tones, you got pentatonics, right? So while we're here in B flat, let's do this. So we know that, and I'm assuming because we've talked about it before, right? Here are the notes of the scale: B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat. Each one of those notes is going to produce a mode of its own and an associated chord or an arpeggio. First chord is always major. Second chord is always minor. This is the formula. It's always like this from nature. Third chord is minor. Fourth chord is major. Fifth chord is major or dominant if we're talking about a 5-note chord. Sixth note is minor. Seventh is diminished. It's the oddball. And then major again. So one exercise that I'm sure you guys have seen is going up the scale with the triads, ascending. Okay? If you are sitting here and you're watching and you have something to write with, I'm gonna go grab something to drink, and I want you guys to get something to write with if you aren't already. I'm gonna give you something to take notes on. Okay? So get something to write with. Get something to write with. Get something to write with. It's hot, man. Woo-wee. All right, I'm back. Had to get me some sparkling water. So, take my wallet out of my pocket. Getting a new MacBook sent tomorrow. So the live streams are the live stream game is gonna go up a little bit. So, let's take, since we were in B flat before, we're gonna stay in B flat. Okay. First exercise you're gonna do is gonna be called up, up. It's triads. We're using triads here. We're gonna play up the scale, ascending all of the triads. So, no, I gotta leave the monsters alone, man. So, up. Let's do that again. So we did all of we did 1 major, 2 minor, 3 minor. Now look at this. We just discovered there's a minor triad. There's one way to finger a minor triad. Here's a minor triad. There's another way to finger a minor triad. Right? Here's a major triad. We've already seen this way to finger a major triad. Here's another way to finger a major triad. See that? What the hell would that get you? It's right under your fingers. Music is in here. So, 1 major, 2 minor, 3 minor, 4 major, 5 major, 6 minor, 7 half diminished. Shift to round it out with the major triad there. So that's up, up. We're ascending the scale and ascending the triads. But now we're going to go down the scale. We're still going to ascend the triad. Right? Going down the scale, still ascending the triad. So this is what I mean. Sorry. There's 6. Here's 5. Here's 4. Here's 3. Here's 2. Here's 1. Here's 7. Okay? So if we'll go up, up, down, up. Let's call it that. It's like a little classical etude, man. Right? So we maintain this shape. Let's do that on, let's say, F sharp, G flat. And just go up again. Still going down the scale, but we're going up the arpeggios. Sorry. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 1. There's another way to do 7. You can do that. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 7, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Let's reverse it for the next one for B. So we'll go down each arpeggio, each triad. We're talking triads now. We're going to go down each triad, but we're going to ascend the scale. So now we got to see them. We got to see each chord in the scale from a different perspective other than just the root. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It sounds super musical, right? It ain't no funk stuff, but it's music. You can hear the music in it now, yeah? So going up the scale but down each arpeggio. Now we're going to go down the scale and down the arpeggio. Down each arpeggio. So, Mr. Robinson, thank you so much, man. That means a lot. I really appreciate that. You know, this thing is just all this is a piece of wood with some strings and pickups on it. I have no superpowers. You know, I'm lucky to have technology and you guys, some people who will hang out and watch for a little while. I'm just sharing what I love to do. But I appreciate you saying that very much. So, what key was I in? B. I was in B. So now I'm going to go down each arpeggio, down the scale. Here's 1. When I say 1, I'm talking about the chords, right? The number of the scale. So here's 1. Sorry. 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 7. Sorry. 7, 1. And I want to do 7 here as well because I want to get every note that's associated. So do that again. 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 7, and 1. Then I finish it out. I finish it out with that arpeggio with that ba-da-da-da, so I can just feel that resolution. Just a little theory thing is each one of these chords in a scale has a function. Home, if we're in a major key, 1 is home, so you know we can leave and meander around, right? But our hope is to get back to our goal is to get back to 1. You know what I mean? And music isn't always like that. That's not a hard and fast rule, but when we're doing an etude like this, a study, then we want to kind of hear that resolution, I guess. So I hope you guys wrote that down. So that was on the first one we went up, meaning up the arpeggio, ascending arpeggios, up the scale, and then we went down, up, meaning we went down the scale with ascending arpeggios. We'll call that one exercise. And then the second one we went down, up, so we went descending arpeggios, ascending the scale, and then we went descending arpeggios down the scale. Now, and I'm gonna leave you guys with this one because we're this went long. We're gonna invert them, so we're gonna go. The first time I got this under my fingers, I was really juiced because it sounds so musical. And it's like a waltz. So we're gonna go up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Sorry. Up. Let's do that again. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Up the 1, down 2, friends, that was a lot of information today. So I'm gonna leave this up for a few hours, and then I'm gonna like make it like a members only thing. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Also, this content is totally free. You can support the channel by joining the membership, buying a product, buying something off the affiliate links. You can leave a super chat like Achilles Matters. You know, any way that you can support this free content is awesome. So, yeah, man, I appreciate your time because you guys could be doing anything, pandemic or no. So, anyway, y'all stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Fleas. Thank you, Kelvin. Thank you, Juan. Thank you, Michael. All right, so you guys stay safe. Wash both your hands, and I will catch y'all in the next video. All right? Peace. 2 fingers.